All right, some questions. Ask questions to ask during the interview, the walkthrough phase when you're trying to feel your guy out. Time. This is an experience and communication thing. We don't really know. And our time estimate is rarely right. It's just rarely right. The only way to give you a safe timeline is to give you a timeline you're not going to like. You know what I mean? I'll give 2 timelines and say, this is a timeline I will try to get it done within, and this is kind of the safe one. Why? Because there's so many unforeseen delays and add-ons going on. You can't say going to be done in 3 weeks and be right on the button. You can ask, who will be doing the work? How many employees? Are you using subcontractors? Do you have your own crew? A crew and subcontractors can affect time in a weird way. They can definitely get a part of the job done way faster than a solo handyman like myself, but then there's scheduling. Sometimes you gotta wait a week or 2 for them to come in. So it might take me a week to do it with what they can do in a day or 2, but if you gotta wait 2 weeks for them to come, you're delayed a week. You can ask them, how do you calculate costs? Some have standard pricing per item, per square foot, like flooring or something. Some just go by days, like that will take me a month, 3 days or half day. Kind of have a rate for that. I am very transparent with my pricing. I add a percentage or a cushion on to bigger projects and say this is the price I will try my best to do it for, and add this margin for for cushion, because you're probably going to need it. In fact, you always need it. So what does the procedure look like? You can ask them what's the timeline? What's the strategy here? And your contractor or handyman should be able to spit out some kind of course of action or approach to the work. Just something. It doesn't have to be exact. Don't worry about the accuracy. It's just a strategy to see if their mental gears are cranking or if they just jotted down items for the estimate. You know what I mean? Because there is a difference. And remember, this is just my opinion, all this stuff. Everyone works differently. It's not a red flag if they aren't already planning in their head. That's just another data point for you to use for when you want to decide. You know what I mean? You can ask them how much focus will be allotted to your project. How many projects are they currently doing? This is to gauge if they are spreading themselves thin, very common, and causes a lot of mistakes. It's too much. I'll stay hooked into your project until everything is at least functional before tackling someone else's big project. I might throw a couple of little side things in there, but you should gauge whether that company just says yes to any and all projects coming their way. And you need to gauge it for a few reasons. Yes, a busy company is a good sign. However, like I said, a single project can be quite complicated or get complicated. So just imagine what can happen with a couple or multiple. You can ask the type of work they usually do. A general contractor might do 1 or 2 things and subcontract the rest. A project manager for a company might not do any of the labor, and someone like me will do everything that we can do. And there's pros to cons to each approach. You can ask them what's the worst job they ever had and the best job they ever had, and why, aside from profit margin. Most of our problems don't really come from the actual technicality or the labor of the project. It either comes from poor planning on our part or from the customer kind of being an asshole or just miscommunications. It's rarely just the work. We can fix stuff that pop up. You know what I mean? And that's not all the questions you can ask, but that's a good start. These types of questions, you got to feel these people out. It's not just, oh, I like your price, get to it. Especially for the bigger stuff.